entertainment, current events, and Hollywood. Don't miss Creator to Creators, hosted by the filmmaker Meosha Bean, known for the Shudder hit documentary Horror Noir and the acclaimed film Anatomy of an Anti-Hero, Redemption. This show features interviews with filmmakers and creatives from around the globe. Join the fun with guest celebrities and gain valuable insights. Subscribe now and follow Creator to Creators.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators today. Today we have a special guest.
Belle Aire.
Welcome, welcome. I love your name. It's so cool.
Thank you.
I love it. It sounds like a DJ's name. Like, it's just like, ooh, that's great.
I love how that fits. I am a DJ too, by the way. So.
Yes. An amazing one at that. I love going back to the beginning. I always say the beginning, charts our trajectory in life. When we're kids, our little habits that we pick up along the way kind of follow us into our adulthood. So tell me a little bit about your childhood. What was that like? And how did you kind of find your way into doing the things that you're doing now?
Okay. Well, I'm from San Diego, California,
Whoop,
and I was like, shout out to San Diego. Growing up, my childhood, it was actually fun. Like my parents pretty much, they worked 9 to 5s. My mom was a flight attendant and my dad, he went from trying to do firefighting, and then he ended up suing the city for racial discrimination and
Wow.
ended up finding a new career. So it really taught me, like they instilled in me to follow my dreams, and your past is not always your future. So with that being said, I was always the entertainment of the family. They'd be like, come out, Auntie so-and-so's here, come sing. I'm like, not again. They're like, show us what you learned. Or like, okay, so I was the entertainment. They pretty much pushed me just to be who I am and kept me active, keep me out of the street.
I love that. No, for sure, absolutely. I mean, I love San Diego. I did a few films in San Diego, and I think San Diego is I think it's just different from Los Angeles. It's just slightly different. Like the people are just slightly different. I don't know. It's just me.
I totally agree with you. San Diego's more laid back, and LA is, we got to go. Like, where are we going? It's really busy. So it's a nice step away to go back to family, regroup, get grounded, and then get back in the grind.
Yeah, for sure. So tell me about was there a moment in like your childhood or like at a moment in your life where you knew exactly it could be something you watched or listened to that kind of planted that seed of like, yeah, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life?
So yeah, I would say, I grew up with a singing family, and what really inspired me was my aunt. So my aunt had tried a career, she was a singer. She did local state traveling. She had a band. They were kind of like the Supremes. And then life was lifing. So she ended up just finding another avenue, and she wasn't able to fulfill it. So I was like, I'm gonna take on the torch.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
yeah. I mean, I just don't, I mean, I know I've been to a few like shows and like there's the DJs and I always wonder like, how does one get into that world? How does that even what does that even look like? I'm just curious.
it was curious for me too. It all started, I mean, I didn't have it figured out because, I started as a writer, and then I went to music as singing. Then I was a personality host on the red carpet, and then the pandemic happened, and I got a gift certificate, which was interesting, to Guitar Center to get DJ lessons. And I was like, I never wanted to be a DJ. Like, what is this? So I wanted a purse actually. So I ended up doing the DJ lessons with DJ Vita. She was known like on the radio, and she was my teacher, and she's retired now. But it was it was a lot of fun. So I thought I was just going to do house show parties, but then the pandemic happened and it ended up being Zooms. And people would be like, "Oh, can you do, I'm having a party. Can you do karaoke?" Anytime we came over.
Wow.
Then I just found a love for it. I was
Hmm.
like, "Oh, you know what? I could put people's music out there."
Yeah.
And how I was starting and want DJs and stuff to play mine. So I also looked at it as an outlet to be able to help others.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, that's so cool that you started it during that time. So I bet
Yeah.
like, that was different for sure. But it feels amazing to be in person to do, to do shows. It's like just a
It's such
different
a rush.
energy. Is there a
Yeah.
memorable one of the most memorable like a moment in your like career that stands out as like, this was like everything. This is why I do what I do.
It was. So I actually had the opportunity this year to go to EDC and
Nice.
I had always heard about it, but to see the people and the love and even like all the money they spend just to come out and get that being a part of something, the movement. And they just vibe and there was no drama. Everybody just got along. And to just see that on people's faces really gives you something that touches your heart, like this is why I do it, like to keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm curious of how that looks like, being in film and a, a, a woman who's, African American in the, directing and cinematography world. It's few and far in between. But when I see us, I'm like, hey, we're out here. How is it in the DJ world? Is it very diverse, pretty inclusive?
That's what I'm fighting for. So
Mm,
it's a male dominant it's
yeah.
thin for like a lot of the headlining, and I want to be an advocate for women and, being a minority of saying, you know what, we do the same job and
Yeah.
let's all, let's get it. But, I'm not asking anybody to give it to me. I'm getting it. So yeah,
Absolutely.
however I can pave the way for the next person, that's what I'm here for.
Absolutely. They say, if they're not giving you up, like, don't wait by the phone. Like you have to build your own door. And
Yeah.
I'm such an advocate for that. Like I feel like that's what kind of what, Tyler Perry essentially did was, he create his own situation. Like I feel like that's what a lot of artists and creators are doing now because, now that we have AI, which everyone feels some type of way about it. I'm curious of your take on it too. Like I feel like it actually helps, and there's some pros and cons to it. How do you feel about the AI?
I actually like it. I like to evolve with the new times, and I think even in the DJ world, we're evolving like with the Oculuses, and there's just
Mm,
going to be room for new platforms of things to where everybody could be involved, and it's not just, you and your space and the people that are there. So we'll be able to
yeah,
touch people around the world for sure.
nice. I love that. So do you like is and I'm curious of your process, like when you're, working on a project or like, especially is this the one that you just dropped, Vote. And I feel like this one it's a really cool anthem, like for especially for the times that we're living in. And we're so close to, the world changing. So
For
it's
sure.
very important to definitely get out there and vote. Um, what was that like whole process like? And like, how did you find like, okay, this is the sound, this is kind of what I want to do? Like like how did you get there?
Okay, so the song Vote originated from Vogue. And when my dad was alive, I had actually written Vogue, and he was like, you know what? You should do a vote song. And I think
Oh,
this was during the actual election when it was Obama. He was like,
okay.
you should do vote. And I was like, oh yeah, dad, that sounds great. And he was like, I kept hearing it. It's time to vote. And I was like, oh, okay. But then now I was like, you know what? Now we're at a time where, things are divided and we need to come together. And it's just, all over the place. We don't know, what's going to happen. So I was like, instead of, being like, are you red or are you blue? Let's bring unity into the song to where it's universal for everyone. And then you decide. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is just getting there, getting out and doing it and making a difference. A lot of times we sit back and watch and be like, oh, people want to talk about it. How come this didn't happen? But it's like, how actively like involved are you in your community? Do you know your neighbor? Like
Absolutely.
everything is so much electronics. It's like get out and hug the world. Find your tribe is what I say that you vibe with because that'll keep you grounded and it's good for socializing.
Absolutely. And I love that it's not like, it's inclusive. It's everyone. It's not just, like I said, red or blue. And because I feel like politics are very it's like a touchy subject for a lot of people. And some people are very loud about it and some people are like not so much because it's like ended friendships in my world. So I was like, yeah, I'll never talk about
For real.
it.
It's like I know I'm in a group with my family of 20 and they're all like they're all retired and they're just talking about it. And I was like, listen, you guys are still going to be sisters and brothers at the end of the day. Let's find
Right.
and inclusivity and unity, bringing everybody together. So,
Absolutely. What drew you, specifically to electronic dance music, and how do you think it captures the essence of, you know, you know, just joy and like of dance?
um, so I grew up in the church and with R&B and, doing the runs and all of that. But I never really felt like I fit in with it. Even
Mm,
though I could
hmm.
sing it. My tribe was when I heard dance music, it was free spirit. It's a vibration. It's
Yeah,
happy and it's just love. It's acceptance. I don't know. It just touches the heartstrings. And the great part about it, even if you don't speak English or know the language, it's the universal language of love.
I like that. I like that a lot. That's cool. I have a fun question for you, and there's no wrong answer. But the three levels of influence: money, power, and respect. And if you could choose only one of those things, which one would you choose and why?
Um, Power.
Ooh,
I would choose power because when you know your power, you get money and you get respect.
I like
And
that.
that's what I'm trying to display, like, because my songs come in my dreams. And,
Mm,
I'm here as a duty to help the world to be better and just to be accountable. And when you know that you don't have to worry about what's on your left or your right, and you
mhm.
worry about yourself and dig deep inside and sit with you, you are the power. You control it. It's like, I mean, manifestation, go for it. See it, believe it, achieve it.
I love I I'm all about the manifestation. I believe that's so real because I think literally we are products of what we think. Like what we're living right now is what we thought, years ago. It's like it's kind of crazy. So I'm always constantly reminding myself or catching myself with certain words. I'm like, oh no, no, no. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm doing this, I'm this. Because if you hear people say, well, how long are you going to be dreaming about something? Yeah,
Right.
unless you're actually actively doing it. So absolutely. Words are so powerful. I love
Yeah.
that.
And that's what I deliver in my lyrics of, people working on themselves and just being accountable for being a good person. It's hard to be negative and it's easier
Yeah.
just to say, you know what, girl, I like your hair or that goes so just putting good in the universe, you get it back 100%.
Do you feel like the music world is in favor? Like, I mean, you're competing, I guess, on the music charts. It's like, indie, I guess, and there's the mainstream artist. Do you feel like the music world is in favor more, like in favor of the artist? And is it kind of harder to kind of get your stuff out there?
I think that nowadays everything is more so like social media, numbers, being active in on it,
Yeah.
and kind of like a distraction to me.
Mm,
Because it'll say, "Oh, you've had this much screen time on such and such." But honestly, I just feel like if you're doing the work and you're living in your purpose, things are just going to happen for you. Like you're not competing with anything. It is what
mm,
put out there. You are what you put out there,
for
basically.
sure. Absolutely. Do you feel do you feel like I don't know, indie well, a lot of artists say they want to get signed to a major label, but then you hear the stories of like some of the labels, the 360 deals. So it's like, and then you hear the stories like Chance the Rapper, where he's an indie artist, and you're like, wow, he's done so many amazing things. Is it you just have more, I would say indie artists have more creative freedom?
I do think that indie artists have more creative freedom, but I also feel that you have to know your homework. Like you have
Very
to do
true.
the work. You have to study. You can't just be like, "Oh, I want to be famous," and sign your away. Like you have to know your purpose, your journey. You have to map it out. Align yourself with people that are good for you. And just because it worked for one person, that was what was for them. You have to find what is for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love that. So you write, so you also, write as well.
Yes.
Nice. That's so cool. So you're like the whole package. You do it all.
Yeah,
That's
but
cool.
I didn't get there overnight. Like literally, like it's so funny because sometimes people see people as like, oh my gosh, they're famous. They just made it. It doesn't happen. I mean, it could, but for me, it didn't. Like I planted seeds, and sometimes it wouldn't grow. So I'd have to plant seeds all over, and then it now is the time for harvest. So I'm
I
really grateful.
love that. The time for harvest. That is so true. Like I do feel like, I don't know, it feels like a great year. A lot of things are coming to a head. I read somewhere too about you want to like get into like you want to help the foundation of abused women and children. Like I read that, I was like, wow, I love that. Like it's bigger than just the music, the art. Like you want to really get involved with those kind of movements. What does that
Yeah.
mean to you, and
Um,
and why?
it means a lot because, I healed from a lot of trauma of things
Mm,
that, I had dealt with growing up that I just thought was okay, and the different unacceptable behaviors because I didn't know. And
yeah.
when you heal from something, you're able to like accept and grow from your scars. That's a part of you. That's a part of your journey. So it's not bad. You're not a bad person. So,
Mhm.
people need to know that people care. I think that's the main thing. And sometimes it's hard when you're in a place, where you think that nobody cares, but then your angels, are there to help you.
Love
So
that.
we gotta be
Mm,
good. So I wanna give back for sure. I do give back a lot, but that is where I'm passionate about because it's something that I've been through. So I'm able to.
mm. Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing to share, be able to share like what you've been through, but also to help others and show them like it's okay. It gets better, or it
Yeah.
can get better. I like
Yeah.
that. Fun question for you. If you could have a coffee date with any artist, living or dead, who would it be and why?
Ooh, Tupac.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. I did not expect that one.
I was like, yeah. I just because he was a lyricist, and I feel like he knew a lot of things, and just I would like to pick his brain. I'm a Gemini.
Oh.
Yeah, it just be
Interesting. I didn't see that one either.
so, yeah, I
Nice, nice.
his story. And he was an
That's
advocate.
awesome. Absolutely, he was. He was you know, I think unfortunate. A lot of people finally got to know who he was after after he was gone, because I think a lot of people thought like he was just a rapper, and he
Yeah.
wasn't just one thing. He was an advocate. His messages were like just like wow, So it's cool that he used his platform for that. And yeah, that would be interesting coffee, you know, exchange. That's cool. I like that. What advice would you give to, up and coming DJs or people that are trying to get into that world? What would you tell them?
Um, Practice and just get out there.
I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. Also, where can people find you on social media to follow everything you got going on?
Okay. My social media is I am Belle, Belle, Aire, Aire. I am Belle Aire.
Love it. I love it. Thank you so much for coming. This was great. I love talking to you about your journey, and yeah, that was cool.
Erica.
And thank you all for listening. And always remember to live, love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time. Bye
Jamila. Bye.
bye.